Previously, I stated that the Sage Smart Pro grinder was the perfect pairing for the Bambino line. However, today I wanted to review it as an individual item. Is it a good grinder? Is it perfect for your first espresso bar? Before I get into the pros and cons of this machine, I just want to go for a few features that it has. Firstly, it's got a very reasonably sized hopper. I haven't been able to find out how big the hopper is, but I will put some right in here. It should say here, hopefully, if I find it. It has a very easily removable cradle for your grip handle. Very easy adjustments on the side for whether you want to go finer or coarser with your grind. It's made of stainless steel, which is a good material, and it has a beautiful LCD screen to show you what size your grind is and how long you're running it for. So I've had this machine for 4 years, just like my Sage Bambino machine, and I've got a lot of positive things to say about it. So obviously this grinder is used primarily for espresso machines. However, you can turn the adjustment back all the way to plunger setting, as it's called on the Sage, but use this for your French press. You can do pour over, and I find the grind consistency for the pour over and the French press to be pretty spot on. So Sage did a really good job with their grinder blades here. Also, I haven't had to replace the grinder blades for 4 years, so that really shows a good quality. Another feature I really like about this machine is its programmable shots. So just like how the Bambino programs shot sizes, you can program how long this grinder runs for. If you hold down this button, what it does, it saves the grind time. So if you were ever to turn off the grinder, it will stay at the time you set it before, which is really helpful because when you get a new bean, you weigh your coffee, you don't want to keep doing that all the time. So it's quite helpful to be able to say, right, I've ground 18 grams of coffee, it runs for 16 seconds for this, save that setting, and you now don't have to worry about adjusting it ever again. Well, until you get new beans anyway. Another thing I really like about this machine is the ease of removing the hopper. It's as simple as taking the lid off, turning this thing in here, and removing the hopper. Easy hopper removal with no mess. Also, I suppose if we're being picky with the pros of the machine, it also goes to a standby mode after a certain amount of time, which does save you electricity. Not that these waste too much electricity, but it's always a positive. I think when it comes to negatives for the grinder, I can only think of a few things. For example, imagine you're waking up in the morning, you and your partner want a fresh cup of coffee. It's quite early, let's say 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're thinking, yeah, let's get started. Go to grind your coffee beans, and wake up your entire neighbourhood. It is incredibly loud. I know it can be quite difficult to make a quiet grinder because you've got to have a blade running on a motor that's going against another blade. You're crushing or cutting beans. It's going to generate some noise, but I find that this one in particular is quite loud compared to a lot of maybe even cheaper grinders out there. Which brings me on to the price point. I've seen these retail online for £179, which is a discount from its previous £200 price mark. However, that still can be quite expensive, especially for your first espresso bar. I think one last negative as well is I find that the coffee that comes out of this can be quite clumpy. There isn't anything in place on the chute or inside the grinder that can help declump. I feel like an easy way to get around that would be by using a WDT tool. So I don't have a problem with this personally, but if you don't have this at hand, that could result in quite a problem. For example, bad shots, channeling, etc. So like I said earlier, I've had this grinder for 4 years, just like my Sage Bambino. I've loved it. I think it's been a good grinder overall. I've poured some wicked shots on my Bambino thanks to this grinder. I think it helps assist the espresso machine in making a nice cup of coffee, and I do recommend it. But do bear in mind that all bits of equipment do have pros and cons, so there'll be things you like and there'll be things you don't like. However, I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons on this machine. Thank you so much for watching. Just a short review today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and consider subscribing. This is a new project and I love coffee and I want to put coffee in more people's feeds. All I can say now is have a great rest of your day. I hope this review has helped you and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.